Good morning, everyone. I stand before you today not as someone who's never faced hardship, but as someone who has walked through the fire and come out on the other side. I'm here to remind you of something powerful, something you may have forgotten in the midst of your struggles. Don't give up in hard times. Let me tell you something, family. Life doesn't promise us smooth sailing. In fact, it almost guarantees us storms. There will be moments when it feels like the weight of the world is bearing down on you. The road ahead might seem long and the obstacles insurmountable, but don't you dare let that stop you. Don't you dare think that just because you're in the middle of a struggle, it's over for you. Life has a way of testing us. It challenges us with obstacles we never saw coming, with setbacks that knock the wind out of our sails, and with disappointments that leave us questioning everything. But in the midst of these trials, there is something extraordinary that we all have the potential to tap into: resilience. The power of resilience is the strength to keep moving forward when everything within you tells you to quit. It's the quiet courage that rises up in the face of adversity, the unspoken determination that refuses to let you stay down when life tries to push you to the ground. Resilience isn't just about bouncing back after a fall, it's about the strength you gain through the fall. It's the ability to adapt, to rebuild, and to emerge even stronger than you were before. Think of it like a tree that bends in the storm. It might sway and groan under the wind's force, but it doesn't snap. Instead, it learns to bend with the breeze, its roots growing deeper, its trunk becoming sturdier, preparing itself for the next storm that may come. The tree doesn't choose the storm, it just chooses to stand, to endure, and to grow through the storm. That's what resilience is: a choice to not be broken, but to be forged in the fire. Too often we fall into the trap of thinking that resilience means having everything figured out or being unaffected by the challenges we face. But true resilience doesn't come from pretending we're invincible or suppressing our pain. It comes from acknowledging the difficulty of the moment, embracing the discomfort, and still choosing to move forward. The real power of resilience lies in the way we show up authentically and courageously despite our circumstances. It's in the quiet moments when no one is watching, when you're tempted to give up, but something inside you says, "No, I'm not done yet." This inner strength is not about being unbreakable. It's about bending without snapping. It's about acknowledging the pressure, the burden, the weight of what you're carrying, and still choosing to rise. There is power in the process of rebuilding. There's power in the moments when you feel exhausted, when you feel like you've given all you can, but somehow you dig deep and find the strength to keep going. This process is what builds resilience, the ability to keep getting up after you've been knocked down, to keep showing up when the future seems uncertain, and to keep believing in yourself when the evidence of success is nowhere in sight. Resilience teaches us that setbacks are not the end of the story. They are simply a chapter in the journey. Every challenge you face, every trial you go through is an opportunity to strengthen your capacity to withstand more, to endure longer, and to achieve greater things. The greatest achievers in history, the ones who have made the most profound impact on the world, are not the ones who never failed. They are the ones who failed, got back up, and kept going. Their resilience became the fuel that propelled them forward, even when the road seemed impossible to navigate. Consider the stories of those who faced the most extreme adversity, those who've been through unimaginable suffering, loss, and hardship. What separates them from others is their ability to rise again. You can't always control the circumstances, but you can control how you respond to them. The power of resilience is not about avoiding pain, It's about developing the mental, emotional, and spiritual strength to face it, endure it, and ultimately transcend it. Sometimes it's not about how fast you go, but about how long you can last. Resilience is the art of persisting when all the odds are against you, when everything around you seems to be falling apart, and when it feels like your efforts are in vain. Yet in the midst of those feelings, resilience whispers, keep moving, keep trusting. You're closer than you think. The truth is, resilience isn't something you are born with. It is cultivated. It is grown in the soil of struggle, watered by tears, and nurtured by your willingness to press on. As you nurture this power within yourself, you'll find that you're not just surviving the hard times, you're learning, evolving, and transforming into someone who is equipped to handle whatever comes next. So when you find yourself facing a challenge, when the weight of the world feels like it's pressing down on you, remember this: you have the power to rise. You have the power to keep going. And with each step you take, you are becoming stronger, more resilient, and more capable of handling whatever comes your way. This power doesn't just come from what happens to you, it comes from what you choose to do with what happens to you. And when you choose to rise, when you choose to move forward, you will discover a strength within you that you never knew existed. It's a fact that life isn't always easy. In fact, it can often feel like the harder you try to move forward, the more obstacles seem to rise in your path. Struggle, pain, and hardship are not just part of life, they are a part of growth. And though we tend to view these difficult moments as setbacks, the truth is that struggle carries with it a strength that we often can't see in the moment. In fact, there is a unique power that is only unlocked through struggle. When we're faced with challenges, our first instinct is often to wish for them to go away, to pray that the difficulty will pass and for the pain to stop. But struggle is not meant to destroy us, it's meant to shape us. It is in the struggle that we discover the depths of our own resilience, where our true strength is revealed. Think about the process of forging metal. In order for steel to become strong, it must be heated, pounded, and shaped under immense pressure. If it's never put through this process, it remains weak, untested. Struggle works the same way on our spirits. It's the pressure that forges us into stronger, more capable individuals. In every moment of difficulty, there is an opportunity to dig deeper within ourselves. Struggle forces us to tap into reserves we didn't know we had. The strength that we find in the hardest moments often surpasses the strength we thought we had in the easy moments. Have you ever been in a situation where you didn't think you could go any further, yet somehow you found the energy to push through? That's the power of struggle. It's not about what you can do when everything is smooth sailing. It's about what you can do when the winds are against you, when the weight of the world feels like it's crushing you, when every instinct tells you to quit. The ability to stand strong in those moments is where your true strength is formed. Struggle also teaches us a valuable lesson in patience. In our culture, we want everything now. We want quick fixes, instant success, immediate relief. But true strength doesn't come from shortcuts. It comes from enduring, from waiting, from trusting the process even when you can't see the end result. The hardest times are often the times that teach us to be patient with ourselves, to trust that we are growing even when we can't immediately see the progress. When we're struggling, we often feel like we're getting nowhere, but if we look closely, we'll realize that the struggle is His, helping us build something more valuable than instant success. Is helping us build character. One of the most important lessons that struggle teaches us is humility. When everything is going well, it's easy to feel like we're in control, like we have it all figured out. But struggle has a way of humbling us. It brings us to the realization that we don't have all the answers and that we need help sometimes. It reminds us that we are not invincible and that there is strength in asking for support and admitting that we can't do it alone. Struggle breaks down the walls of pride and self-sufficiency, and in that vulnerability, we often find a deeper connection to others and to the greater purpose of our lives. And then there's the emotional strength that comes from struggle. The emotional weight of hardship often feels unbearable, but it's through these emotional challenges that we become more compassionate, more empathetic, and more understanding of others who are going through their own struggles. When we've been through something difficult, we can't help but be moved by the pain of others. Struggle teaches us empathy in a way that no textbook ever could. It helps us become more in tune with our own emotions so that when we encounter others in pain, we can offer a genuine understanding and compassion. Sometimes it's easy to look at the struggle as something we need to escape from. But if we shift our perspective, we can begin to see it for what it truly is, an opportunity for growth. Every time we face hardship, we are given a choice. We can allow the difficulty to define us as victims, or we can allow it to refine us into stronger, wiser individuals. The choice is ours. The struggle in its deepest form has the power to elevate us to new levels of strength. It can teach us more about ourselves, more about our capacity to endure, and more about the power of perseverance than any easy victory ever could. It's important to realize that strength is not the absence of struggle, it's the ability to keep going because of it. Struggle doesn't take away from your strength, it adds to it. It is through our battles that we come to understand the depth of our capabilities. Struggle is not something to fear or avoid, it is something to embrace, because it is in the struggle that we grow, evolve, and find the true power we possess. Understand this: your purpose is bigger than your pain. The pain you're feeling right now, no matter how intense it may be, is only temporary. It's a chapter in a book that's still being written. But your purpose, that's eternal. Your purpose is not defined by the struggles you face today. It's not defined by the obstacles in front of you. Your purpose is anchored in something greater than the moment you're living in. It's bigger than what's trying to defeat you, bigger than the fears, bigger than the failures, bigger than the disappointments that might surround you right now. When you're in the middle of pain, it's hard to see past it. The pain can feel overwhelming. It can feel suffocating, like it's all consuming. But don't be fooled by the intensity of the moment. Pain has a way of clouding your vision and distorting your perspective, making you think that this is the end. But let me remind you, pain is temporary, but purpose is eternal. Your purpose has been ordained before you were born. It's a divine blueprint that was created for you, and no amount of pain can erase it. It doesn't matter what you're going through today. What's ahead for you is far greater than anything that's behind you. The pain might shape you, it might stretch you, it might even test your faith, but it cannot cancel the destiny that's already been set in motion for your life. Sometimes pain is necessary for purpose to fully manifest. It's in the struggle where we find our strength, in the testing where we find our true character. The hard times are the refiner's fire that shapes us into who we were always meant to be. Without the pressure, the gold in you would never shine. Without the storm, you'd never know the depth of your own resilience. Purpose isn't built on the mountaintops. Purpose is forged in the valleys, in the wilderness, in the moments when you don't think you can go another step. The thing about purpose is that it doesn't come to you because things are easy. It comes to you when you press through, when you keep going, even when it's hard, when you refuse to be defined by your circumstances. Your purpose doesn't care about your struggles. It's not deterred by the hurdles you face. It's stronger than any disappointment, any rejection, any heartbreak. And that's the power of knowing that purpose is bigger than pain. Your purpose is the driving force that keeps you moving forward. It's the reason why you don't quit when things get tough. When you understand that the pain you're enduring is only a small part of a much bigger story, it shifts your perspective. You stop seeing yourself as a victim of your circumstances, and you start seeing yourself as someone who's destined for greatness, destined for something much bigger than the present moment. Don't allow the weight of the pain you feel today to cloud your vision of what's ahead. You're not just enduring this moment for no reason. You are being prepared, molded, and positioned for something greater. The pain will pass, but your purpose will carry you through the fire and lead you to the promise. So never forget that purpose is always bigger than pain. It's what will carry you from one season of struggle to the next season of victory. Let me tell you something right now. Faith has to be bigger than your feelings. Because if you let your feelings dictate your direction, you will find yourself on a roller coaster of emotions, tossed back and forth by every storm, every challenge, and every little setback that comes your way. Your feelings are temporary. They are like the weather, changing with every gust of wind or cloud that passes through. But your faith is the anchor that keeps you steady, even when the winds are howling and the storm seems unrelenting. Now, I know it's easy to be driven by what you feel. When you feel discouraged, it's hard to keep going. When you feel rejected, it's hard to believe in your worth. When you feel overwhelmed, it's hard to trust that there's a way through. Your feelings will tell you that you're not enough, that you're too weak, or that the mountain in front of you is too high to climb. Your feelings will tell you to quit, to give up, to walk away. But that's where faith comes in. Faith doesn't operate based on how you feel. Faith operates on what you know. It operates on what you believe deep down in your soul, in the core of your being, beyond the temporary circumstances and the fleeting emotions that rise up in the heat of the moment. When everything in you says, I can't, faith says, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. When your heart is heavy and your mind is confused, faith stands firm. It says, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil. Feelings will lie to you. They'll tell you that you can't make it through the storm, that you're too far gone, that your dream is too big and too impossible. But faith, real faith, doesn't look at the storm. It looks at the God who calms the storm. Faith doesn't look at the giants in the land. It looks at the God who gives you the strength to conquer them. Faith doesn't look at the closed doors. It looks at the one who opens doors that no man can shut. You see, faith doesn't need the evidence to move forward. Feelings require the evidence. Feelings need to see it before they believe it. Faith, on the other hand, believes it before it sees it. Faith is stepping out onto a path that hasn't yet been revealed, trusting that with every step, the way will be made clear. Faith doesn't wait for the circumstances to change. Faith believes the change has already been made in the spirit, even before it shows up in the natural. This is why when you walk by faith, you don't need to understand everything. You don't need to have all the answers. You don't need to feel ready or equipped for the journey ahead. Faith tells you you are enough because I am enough. Faith tells you you are not alone. I will never leave you or forsake you. Faith tells you this moment is not your final moment. Your breakthrough is on the way, and even when your feelings are screaming, give up. Faith is whispering, keep going. So yes, it's okay to feel. We all feel disappointment. We all feel pain. We all feel fear. But you cannot live by those feelings. You cannot be governed by them. You cannot let them dictate your decisions or your destiny. You've got to rise above your feelings and stand on the foundation of your faith. Because when you trust in God, when you walk by faith and not by sight, the emotional storms will calm, the doubts will fade, and the power of your faith will carry you through. Let me remind you today, victory is on the other side of the struggle. I know right now it feels like you're trapped in the middle of it. You're in the thick of the fight, facing obstacles that seem insurmountable, challenges that seem endless. It feels like you've been battling for so long that you wonder if the fight will ever end. But hear me clearly, the struggle you are facing is not your final destination. It's a part of the journey, a necessary season that's preparing you for something greater. We often look at our struggles as signs that we failed, that we're not making progress, or that we're being punished. But that's a lie. The truth is, the struggle is not a setback, it's a setup. The battle you're fighting right now is positioning you for the victory that's just ahead. Every step you take, every ounce of strength you muster to keep going is drawing you closer to the breakthrough that God has already ordained for you. Think about it this way. When an athlete trains, they push their body to the limit. They sweat, they strain, they break down their muscles, and they experience pain. But that pain, that struggle, is what builds endurance. It's what strengthens them, refines them, and prepares them for the race. Without the struggle, there is no strength. Without the effort, there is no victory. The struggle may be tough, but it is shaping you into someone who can carry the weight of the victory that's coming. And here's something you need to understand: the victory you're about to step into won't just be for you. It will be a testimony. Your victory will be a beacon of hope for others who are in the middle of their own struggles. They will look at you and say, if they can make it through, then so can I. Your fight is not just about you. It's about all the lives that are watching your story unfold. When you come out on the other side, you will be stronger, wiser, and more equipped to lead others to their own victory. I know there are moments when the weight of the struggle feels unbearable, when you feel like giving up because the road ahead seems too long and too hard. But you have to remind yourself you are not defined by your struggle. Your struggle is not your identity. Your victory is what defines you. And that victory is already on the other side of the battle. What you're going through right now is just a season. It's temporary. It might feel heavy, it might feel endless, but it won't last forever. And sometimes it's in the moments of deepest struggle that we come to understand just how much strength we have within us. We discover courage we didn't know we possessed. We develop resilience that we never thought possible. The struggle may make you feel like you're being broken, but in reality, it's breaking off the things that were holding you back. It's breaking off fear, doubt, and weakness, and it's making space for the person you were always meant to be. So don't be discouraged by the weight you're carrying. Don't lose hope in the midst of the storm. The victory you've been waiting for is closer than you think. It's just on the other side of this struggle. And when you cross over, when you break through, you will look back and realize that every ounce of pain, every moment of frustration, every tear you shed was worth it. Because the victory you're walking into is greater than the battle you fought.